So you've reached the endgame content in Monster Hunter World, rocking a raging Braki weapon, or maybe even a Fatalis weapon if you've got a massive dong. Yet you can't help but still ask yourself, is there any way to increase my OPness? My bonk may be strong, but I do indeed still get my booty clapped. You, my friend, are looking for Augmentations, an endgame upgrading system that allows you to further power up your weapons, and also to lift the upgrade cap off your armors to help improve their defenses vastly. I'm going to walk you through what augments you should put on your rarity 12 weapons, particularly your Fatalis ones, and show you exactly how to get all the parts involved. I'm Lighted Up Dan, and on the channel I love to produce content that aims to reduce the overwhelm and unknown of the Monster Hunter games, distilling its complexities into a more easily digestible format. If you haven't caught any of the event roundup videos or the weapon overviews, there's something there for everyone. Very quickly, I want to give a massive thank you to all of you who have really turned up, getting us to around 80% of unsubscribed viewers on the channel, with the majority of you returning. If you enjoy the videos, do subscribe. I'm aiming to get that down to 50%, and with that said, let's get to it. In order to augment your rarity 12 weapons, you're going to need to be master rank 100 or above, as you're going to need to be able to access various regions at level 7 in the Guiding Lands. Whether it's your own or a friend's, you're going to need to be MR100. Whilst Fatalis weapons all boast tremendous raw, they also all have negative affinity, which is kind of a massive bummer. But they do need to have some sort of trade-off, otherwise they'd be even crazier than they already are. The first augment we're going to be looking at is the Health Regen Augment, healing you for 7.5% of the damage you deal. Yeah, that's right, it's a crazy amount of lifesteal. This is incredibly powerful and should always be your first port of call when doing any weapon augmentation. It's just too damn good. These will take up 3 of the augmentation slots and require 4 different components. This means that you're going to need to have access to a level 7 coral region, either your own or a friend's. Very quickly, if you do need to level any regions up, the quickest way to do this is to hunt monsters that are exclusive to that region. For example, Tsitsi Yaku for Coral region. Gather as many of their tracks as you can, trap them repeatedly as many times as possible, perhaps taking one of both traps and the mats to craft another whilst you're on the go and doing 4 each time, and breaking as many parts as possible too, so maybe bringing 3 part breaker along, with tempered monsters being worth more. For all the 5 charged deathly shockers, you're going to need to fight against a regular, that is a non-tempered, Zinogre. You've got a really good chance of picking these up from shinies and from carves, so do go out of your way particularly to get wall bangs whenever the monster's not enraged, and get as many part breaks as you possibly can. Of course, in the Guiding Lands, make sure you take at least 1 geologist on your build, as this will allow you to double up on the shinies that you pick up. Between the wall bangs, the part breaks, and the carves, you should have plenty to go around. For the 7 tempered trance hides and the 3 elder spirit vein bones, you'll be able to get both of those from facing your tempered Namiel. Either hope one pops up in a level 7 coral region, or use a lore to bring one in. And same deal goes here. Make sure you've got 1 geologist, go for wall bangs and part breaks, as you'll be able to pick them up from those, and you'll also be able to get them from carves at the end. Between those 3 with your 1 geologist, you will have loads to go around. Last but not least is a bit of chill gathering to get yourself the Guiding Reef Dragon Boner. Whip out your gathering loadout with max level geologist, intimidator, stealth, all the good stuff, and hit up your rounds gathering the bone piles in the coral region. Once the bar in your menu is red at tier 3, there's a 5% chance you'll rarely get it from the bone piles. I recommend you go solo or with just 1 other and your palico, also partying up with tail raiders if you can, as they will gather these up too. Once you completely max out the boner gathering, the giant node will appear, which is a 100% chance for you to grab it. Hopefully after the whole cycle and the palicos and tail raiders at the end, you'll have nabbed a few so you're good for a bit. It's time. You've got everything. Do it. Give yourself lifesteal. Give in to your vampiric tendencies. Now all damage dealt with that weapon will heal you for 7.5% HP. That is massive. It's so good. It does have an inherent inbuilt cooldown. I believe it's something like 0.2 seconds. So that means any weapons that hit very rapidly and or hit multiple times at once. So think bow, heavy bowgun with spread, stuff like that. They won't be getting the lifesteal across all of the damage that they deal. But even for those weapons and for every other weapon, weapon. It is absolutely crazy. I know, Meowster. You're looking at that negative affinity and you're thinking, Dan, I need to fix this. I understand. And that's why the next augmentation is going to be the level 1 affinity up, which will add another 10% affinity to the weapon. First, we need to increase the amount of augmentation slots. We're going to need to do this for 2 levels, which is 2 rounds of different materials. The Great Spirit Vein gem is very rarely dropped by tempered monsters in the Guiding Lands. However, by running the event Ode to the Destruction, an MR100 event against a tempered rune and Gigante, you are guaranteed one with a chance to get even more. You can also get them from Muar number 1 if you're feeling extra spicy. For the Elder Spirit Vein bones, we already know that tempered elders do drop them, and we also need 5 Extinction Greathorns, which drop from a regular non-tempered rune and Gigante from the Guiding Lands. The best way to do this is to lure a ruiner over to a level 5 or lower region. If all you can do is get a tempered one and you just keep getting unlucky, don't worry, you should be able to trade your materials 1 for 1 at the Smelly Elder Melder Smelter. Same as the monsters for the health regen, make sure you've got one geologist on your build somewhere, go for wall bangs whenever you can, and try to get as many part breaks as possible. Between those and the carves, you really should gather up a good amount. Let's return and unlock our first extra slot. Schmink! We're so close now. For the level 2 extra slot, it's much of the same. 1 Great Spirit Vein gem, this time 5 Elder Spirit Vein bones, you should have plenty, and this time 5 tempered glimmer pelts. These are dropped by a tempered Rajang, which will need a level 7 volcanic region. This dude is pretty rough, but it's a fun fight, and of course, by fun, I mean having your dick smashed, pulverized into a fine Meowster nuts chutney, delicious on Hunter crackers. By now, you know the deal. Wall bangs when you can, part breaks wherever possible, and your carves at the end. Between the 3 of them and your level 1 geologist, of course, do not forget this, you will have plenty to go around. Back we go again. Pop that level 2 augmentation slot, giving us the 2 that we needed, and now finally we can work on the stuff that we need for the affinity augment. For the 9 smoldering tail edges and the 3 heavy dragon vein bones, you'll need to fight against a regular non-tempered Glavenus in the Guiding Land. You're sick of me saying so, but just in case, take 1 geologist, go for the wall bangs, get your part breaks, and then you've got the carves at the end. Smoldering tail edges for days, you are good. The heavy dragon vein bones are pretty common across loads of different monsters, including Glavenus, so you should be good with just Glav. For the 3 serene crystals, you're going to need to gather at the mining nodes in the Wildspire region. At tier 2, they have a 15% chance to get gathered, and at tier 3, when the bar is red on your menu, they've got a 43% chance. Again, come in solo or with 1 other if you can, bringing your Palico and any tail raiders you can bring along as well, and make sure you've got your gathering loadout with maximum geologists, etc. You will hopefully grab yourself a really good few. It's time to head back. You've got your 2 slots open, you've got everything you need. Get yourself that plus 10 affinity added into your Fatalis weapon. Glorious. Helping to reduce that burden of the massive negative affinity these weapons suffer from, making weakness exploit do a little less work. You might ask, why not do all affinity upgrades? Well, only the first one is worth 10%, the others after that are only worth 5% each. That, compared to getting that 7.5% lifesteal on your weapon, across all damage dealt by it, it's just a no-brainer to me. You need that lifesteal in your life, literally. If you want to go for a 3rd slot and add either some defense or some element up, you can do so just for completion's sake, but really, you've gotten what you needed. Have you been thinking about augmenting your weapons? Is it something you've already been doing for all of your gear? Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you. As mentioned at the beginning, a massive thank you for really turning up and getting us to around 80% of unsubscribed viewers on the channel, with the majority of you returning. If you enjoy the videos, do subscribe. I'm trying to get that down to 50%. If you want to join an open and welcoming community that hunts together daily, playing both Monster Hunter World and Monster Hunter Rise, you can join my open Discord. And not only that, I also do open lobbies during the live streams, both over on YouTube and Twitch at the same time. I will leave all these links in the description for you. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll see you in the new world.